Hi guys, and welcome to another tutorial installation video. This time we are shooting about M2, M3, M4 and M5, M6 F generation differential performance clutch pack by RacingDiffs. And if you stay until the end of this video, you will see how to install this performance upgrade for the mentioned models. We won't be doing a tutorial how to strip down the differential from the car. That is the job for your mechanic. Just want to make sure you guys, when you take out the differential, you will see those two shims. Make sure you mark the left and the right. So when you return the LSD unit to the housing, return the left shim to the left side and the right shim to the right side. So first you need to lift the car up and strip down the differential. You will need to take out the differential carrier unit, the LSD unit, from the housing. This is not something spectacular and complicated, therefore we won't be doing this in the video. And before we begin the installation procedure, I want to show you what you get from the RacingDiffs inside of this box. You have some stickers for your car, you have one bearing, you have a clutch pack, another part of the clutch pack, and you have the nut collar which goes below this gear. You will see later on what this is for. As addition, to complete the installation procedure properly, you will need one special tool. This is the opening tool for the limited slip differential unit. It is available for the purchase separately from the kit on our website, so check the link in the description. And now to unbox all parts so you can take a closer look. You see you have special collar which goes below the gear. You have one screw, I will show you later on what is it for. You have one side bearing to replace this one because you will see later in the video you have to destroy this one to get to the internals of the differential. So you have a replacement bearing. And then the main thing, performance clutch pack, door gear plates and the spacer, and the clutches with preload shim. All together makes a complete performance upgrade for the mentioned differential. And now let's move on to the working table to show you guys how to install all those parts in this unit. First you need to remove this bearing. Unfortunately there is no better way to remove this bearing with any special tools. If there is, we will know it. You have to grind it down, so we will show you how to do it. Don't forget to use safety goggles because safety is first. When you remove the bearing from the differential, you get access to this C-clip. You have to disengage this and remove this C-clip to continue the procedure of disassembly. For that, you need those nippers. C-clip is removed. This is the engagement ring. You see when I flip it, it goes up. This is what is happening inside the differential shown in the previous video with electric motor. Remove this, remove the axial bearing, you remove this, and a spring plate, the differential is ready, so you can remove the collar from the differential so you can get to internals. As you have a small hardened pin right here, there is no better way to remove this collar but to destroy it. Therefore, you have another collar in the RacingDiffs performance pack to replace this one, which is exactly the same dimension, so you don't have to worry about any adjustments. Just destroy this one, replace it with new from the RacingDiffs pack, and you're good to go. Once the pin is out, collar is ready to be removed. Take note that this is the counter thread, so you release it clockwise. Now the cap is out and you reach the internals. I suggest you to clean the table from the grinding so you can continue with the clean procedure of replacing factory parts. And here you have the factory clutch pack, which should be replaced with the RacingDiffs parts. And you have those leaves shims, which you can use to increase the preload inside the diff if needed. But in most cases we don't use those as well, but keep them aside just in case. I will explain later. What you're keeping is the differential housing. Watch out for the small pin right here which leads the cap to the certain position, because now it is time to wash and clean carefully all those parts which you're keeping, and sometimes this pin knows to get lost. Do this for all those parts which should be returned in a differential. Watch out for the bearings and especially those balls inside. And now once everything is cleaned and dried, it's time for the assembly. Make sure you lubricate all parts well before you put everything together. Again, many of you guys will ask, what is this lubricant? We use Motul Gear Competition limited slip differential oil for all parts and components of limited slip differentials. Cone shim for the beginning of the clutch stack goes on top of the spider gear. And then you start with the clutch stack, begin with the dog ear plate and then clutch plate, all the way up until you close the stack with the dog ear plate again. When you finish putting all clutches and end up with the dog ear plate on top, use the preload shim washer on top of the dog ear plate, lubricate it as well, and then goes the cap. Make sure you lubricate this inner part, inner hole for the drive flange, because otherwise if you forget to lubricate this part, your drive flange can get stuck and like welded inside, and you don't want that. And don't forget to return the guiding pin so the cap can get back in the certain position. Flat spacer on the cap with oil, and then you close everything down. Align the hole with the center pin, and time to press it down on the hydro press. Don't forget the collar before you press it. Lubricate the thread so you can go easily. So you tighten it counterclockwise. Press down the cap. Tighten the collar with a hand. When you reach the end, add a little bit help with the hammer, and that's it. When you finish tightening, the collar should be flat with the side walls of the carrier unit right here. Time to ensure the collar not to get loosened, and that is what is the small screw for. Take a drill bit 3.5 millimeter provided with the RacingDiffs pack, drill the hole in the side wall until it passes through the collar. Then use a thread maker to create a thread for the M4 screw provided in the RacingDiffs pack. This is very important part and the detail, so I'm taking off the carrier unit now so you guys can see. You can make a thread until the thread maker starts going outside. There is no need to create a thread all the way through the hole, so it is quite good to leave 1 or 3 millimeter only hole without a thread, so you can fasten or tighten the screw well. If you make complete thread through the complete hole, you won't be able to fasten the fastener properly. So when you start seeing this small pin, you stop. We'll use a little bit of thread locker, remove all metal particles. And now it's time to finalize our assembly. Lubricate all parts well again. Spring shim, pins, axial bearing cone, axial bearing, this plate, shim with balls, upper plate, gear, and then the bearing. Outer cone, flip it, and then put it inside the ledge. Make sure it's all the way down. Finish with a sealer to the press. Check if everything runs smooth. And at the very end, new bearing on top. And now we finished everything regarding mechanical part of the installation of RacingDiffs performance upgrade for this differential. And now moving on to the next step. To finalize this procedure, you need to adapt electric motor to the new clutch stack, and I'm going to show you now how to do that. Put the car on the diagnosis, click on the special functions, and then drive. GHAS repair function, that is what you need. And now it's stated the communication with the control unit is okay. Move forward to the next step, and you have system info, which asks you which action you wish to execute, and then you hit rear axle differential has been replaced, that is F2 option. The system is preparing to calibrate the control unit. Click continue. And then you have info that system calibration was successful. What happened basically, it locked to the 100% lock position, then released, and then again to learn what is the 100% lock position, and that's it. You click continue, and it asks you now, has the rear differential really been replaced? If the rear axle differential is renewed, the running check-in must be performed again after 2000 kilometers. That is why the running in check for the rear differential axle is now activated and reset again. If you want everything to be perfect, then you click yes. Drive the car for the 2000 kilometers as stated in the diagnosis, and after that repeat this procedure, and we suggest you to replace the oil after bending in the clutches. And that's about it. And now it's time to see what this baby can do.